Welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. It's the final week of FH5 Update 38. And this week, we can unlock the Volvo Polestar. A lot of people are going to look at this car and go, ugh, a Volvo hatchback? It's boring. Wrong. This thing is unbelievably cool. It's got a very cool story. It's got a very cool engine. We'll jump into all of that in a second, though. Next week is the Back to the 90s update. It includes new cars. I thought it'd be fun if we make some predictions about said new cars. I'm gonna go with an old OG Dodge Viper. Let's go unlock our new Volvo. I'm very excited for this car. Come on. And are we done? We got him! My speedrun strategies today weren't brilliant. 23 minutes instead of the usual 15. We were a little off pace today. Call me biased all you want. As much as I love the Toyota Chaser, I think this might actually be my favorite vehicle in this month's update. It is so cool. It is so unique. This wouldn't be an AR12 video without any fun facts about the incredible little Volvo C30. So what makes this thing super, super cool though is inside it has a 5-cylinder engine. You know how like nowadays, like the Audi RS3 and the Audi TT RS both have 5-cylinder engines? This had a 5-cylinder engine as well. However, it was actually really interesting the way it worked because Volvo made like a couple special editions of this car. They made like a normal version of this car that had like 230 horsepower or something like that, except it had the same 5-cylinder engine. Then Volvo made this one, which is the C30 Polestar version. Again, it had the 5-cylinder engine, except they only made 250 of these for the entire world. For North America, I think it might have just been North America. They weren't actually very special because all they had was a tune on it. Essentially, they were exactly the same car that they were selling the general public, except they gave it a very small tune to boost the horsepower and they painted it blue. That was literally all they did. Volvo actually made an even more special version of this thing. It's called the Volvo C30 PPCP. They named it after a fax machine. I don't understand why. That version of this car is the really, really cool version. If you remember that episode of Top Gear that came out 20 years ago, it feels like now, that had a cool wide body fitted to it. It had 400 horsepower and all-wheel drive. Again, what makes this particular one even cooler is that you can actually find them. Sure, they're super rare and there's only 250 of them. They only cost like 10, 15,000 bucks, maybe 20 grand if you want a really nice one. And that's why I like this car so much. It's a car that you can actually see, actually buy. Don't get me wrong, the latest and greatest supercars are awesome, but I love it when there's attainable cars in this game. Cars that you can actually see, and I really like this one. I've just got to assume there's no wide body kit available for this thing. Are there any mods of it? No, okay. No mods available for this thing whatsoever. What if we do all of the other upgrades to turn this thing into the PPCP version? What if we give it a go? We can swap the engine to a 1.6 4-cylinder turbo rally, but I don't think that's particularly worthwhile. We can go rear wheel drive and we can go all wheel drive. I like it. I guess we'll start with the PPCP version. So let's go all wheel drive. We're going to keep the stock engine in it. I wish we could give it a slightly more aggressive rear wing because that one looks, I won't even talk about that one. I'm going to give it some slightly better tires. We'll go up to, I guess, sport tires should be good. Okay, good. I guess we'll make the tires a little bit thicker. Let's go 235 in the front and I guess 235 in the rear. And when in doubt, also give it some engine spacers to make it look a lot better. Very nice, very nice. Okay, good. I'm gonna go for sport brakes because that seems realistic. I'm also gonna give it some better suspension because the real one had that. So let's go race suspension. I guess we'll give it some fancy sway bars, front and rear. Very nice. I'm only gonna give it a touch of weight reduction. I'm pretty sure the real PPCP version was like kind of a stripped down interior version. Like I don't think it had back seats. So I'm gonna go 2 notches of weight reduction. And then we've just got to get the horsepower to 400 horsepower and we should be good. 399 horsepower. All right, nice. I do quickly want to see, whoa, we do have advanced paint groups for this thing. No special colors for this thing, though. This one is like the Polestar version, which only came in this special blue. What are the advanced paint groups for this car, though? Oh, I see. If you wanted to make it look like a Subaru, you could always paint this bit. Sorry, wrong bit. Suddenly, you've turned your Volvo sports car into a crossover looking thing. Let's give it a go, little Volvo C30 against a whole bunch of hot hatchbacks, even an old Golf R32. You'll love to see it. Anyways, the special PPCP version. I don't actually know what that stands for. I assume it stands for like performance, powered, compact. Performance. Come on, little Swedish meatball. Let's see how you can do with a bit of all-wheel drive. 400 odd horsepower. Send it all the way through. It's honestly such a disappointment that this car didn't catch on with like the greater public, because I truly do think it was a lovely car. When Volvo started selling this car, I think in year one, they sold like 50,000. The year after that, they sold 40,000. The year after that, 30,000. Then they did 30,000 again and then dropped all the way down to 20,000 cars. People didn't buy these things, and Volvo inevitably killed them off in 2013. That's when like the cool Polestar versions were built. They were like, let's make something to sell, I guess. I don't know about you guys, but the interior is so like grown up. I mean, maybe that's one of the reasons they didn't sell particularly well. It's definitely got that boomer font in there, you know? It's a hot hatch for the elegant gentleman. Exactly. If you want to be welcomed at both the Cars and Coffee event, the business meetings, the Yobo Showdown drag races, and the funerals, this is the car to show up in. It's almost like one more step off a Volkswagen Golf, you know? The type of person who buys this car is the type of person who enjoys an artichoke. I think that's without a doubt the best way to describe this car. Kat, I like what you were saying. Why don't I try to make this thing a TCR car? So let's go back to the front wheel drive. We're gonna keep our 5-cylinder in for the simple fact that it's cool. I now unfortunately need to disgrace this vehicle and make it disgusting. On the bright side, I can now get full racing slicks. I can thin down my rear tires, excuse me. I can now also give it full-on race brakes. I can give it full-on racing suspension and a roll cage. We've got a fat turbocharger on the thing. I like where this is going. I wonder if anybody's made like a cool Volvo racing team paint job just yet. Okay, we don't need the police. The Cyan version, okay. Apparently we've sold out. I see what I see. Regardless of what paint job we're running, somebody hopefully in the comments will know more than us. Let's see if our homemade TCR build is any good. We've gone for the roll cage. The roll cage actually looks very, very cool in there. I've got to assume a lot of the cars that I'm going to be racing against, like all-wheel drive swap cars, I'm probably going to be one of the only front-wheel drive cars, but I'm just going to drive it and see how fast we can... Oh, geez, the cornering is wild. It really does feel like it wants to pop a wheel up into the air. Look at it. I think the back wheel is getting a tiny bit of lift. Maybe. Oh, that's sick. Brake into the corner. It's trying its hardest. We made a proper TCR car. Although I bullied the rear wing and the front splitter, with them both on, boy, does it drive nicely, huh? Close in on the cars in front. I definitely wouldn't say it's OP or anything like that. It's at the bottom of S1 class, so it's never gonna do particularly well, but it's just a nice car to drive. Late on the brakes, up the inside, we're braking like a full half second later than everyone else. You know what? I think it's doing a very Volvo thing. It's faster than all the competition, but it doesn't want to feel unfair or feel like it's bullying the other cars. We're just gonna beat them politely. I knew that I was gonna like the Volvo coming into this, but I didn't think it would be quite this nice to drive. Okay, don't call it the bell pepper of TCR car because it's not spicy. It's just a nice car, okay? Okay, maybe calling it the bell pepper of TCR racing is very accurate. Maybe we should make it a bit more beefy. Why is everything going back to food today? Okay, I'm just gonna throw in the little turbo rally engine. I'm gonna make it all-wheel drive, and we're gonna send it for some off-roading. I'm also gonna get rid of that godforsaken ugly Aero. We might be worse, but we will be better looking, and as we've said before, looking good is more important than winning. And then I just need to max the horsepower on the turbo rally engine. Upgrade the turbo, remove the restrictors, 670 horsepower. Somebody says this is the hot hatch for a midlife crisis. No, wrong. This is the hot hatch after you've gone through your midlife crisis. I'm gonna go straight to jail. I'm gonna do it. I would like to apologize to every single Swedish person who is watching this video. I will never be allowed in Sweden ever again, which is highly disappointing because I really like Sweden. Sweden's like definitely one of my favorite places out there. And when I go there next time, I'm gonna be arrested by a Swedish security guard. Our wannabe Subaru STI, Volvo Polestar. All right, let's go. Let's just see if this car is any good. Holy, the handling. Bro, that was wild. Okay. In, go, slide, beautiful, grip, handbrake, hit the checkpoint. The Swedish and Japanese meatball concoction is very quick. It's a very, very quick vehicle. I think I've discovered what the Volvo C30 was actually built for. Holy, this is unbelievably quick. Also, it shoots more flames than I do after having Mexican food. This is like, yeah, it's a Wagyu meatball, boy. I can't believe this thing is so good. It can snap back and forth. How is it so good? How is this so good? No joke. I'm being 100% serious when I say this. This might be one of the nicest off-road cars I have ever made in this game. It literally has the perfect amount of horsepower, the perfect amount of grip. It's just a beautiful car to drive. A Volvo hot hatchback from 2013 has no right being this good as an off-road car. I can't believe that it's this good, but I am so happy that it is. Now we need to ask a question that I think I'm gonna regret asking. Do we do a front-wheel drive drift build? It's not every day we get a front-wheel drive car in the game. I feel like we kind of have to just based on principle alone. We're gonna keep the stock engine in. We're gonna keep it front-wheel drive. No aero for this thing. Okay, it's been a little while since I've made a front-wheel drive drift car, so I do apologize if this doesn't work exactly to plan. I will try my best. The fully maxed out T5 engine puts out 600 horsepower, which isn't great if you compare it to the turbo rally engine. I was kind of expecting a little bit more, honestly. We only weigh 2,500 pounds, though. We're still in A-class. Front-wheel drive drifting in the Volvo C30. How hard can it be? Oh, it's been such a long time since I've done a front-wheel drive drift build. I do apologize. As long as we can get a bit of rotation from it. I need to third gear. There we go. As long as I can get a bit of rotation from it, though, we should be okay. Yo, is the Volvo C30 really gonna be the most underrated front-wheel drive car in this game? Bro, it actually worked. How is it that good? How is it that good? 180,000 points rear-wheel drive. I can do even better. Let's try it again. Honestly, can we get 200K? I think if I clean up corner 1 and corner 2 and really go for some angle and maximize some of those lines and probably some of the angles as well, I think it might be close. That was a big angle into corner 1. And now we go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. As long as we can keep the angle up, I think we could actually get 200K. Come on, just keep snapping it back and forth. Keep back and forth. Very nice. This really takes me back to my Forza Motorsport 4 days when I used to run front-wheel drive drift leaderboard. That's what this is reminding me of right now. It drives so incredibly well. We lost a couple of points up the hill. I don't know if we're gonna get to 200K. 190. Come on. 200,000 points in the Volvo C30. The Volvo C30 is the most underrated car in this game. Nobody looks at this thing and goes, wow, what an incredible... It just did a... I love this car. I absolutely love this car. It is so underrated. It's not even funny.